Hey y'all, it's April and I'm still kicking, and I want to thank you guys. For those of you who have seen 1 and 2, the first videos, that's great. You'll understand what I'm going to tell you in this video a lot better. For those of you that haven't, it's really important that you go back and look at those. But to bring you up to date, February 16th of last year was when I got my diagnosis. And the diagnosis was stage 4, and they only gave me 8 to 12 weeks to live, and that was at the VA hospital. But I passed my 1-year anniversary just about a month ago, so it's so great to be here. Well, I want to tell you about, I got some tests run, and I got an MRI from here up. And also, I went to get scoped. That's when they run a camera down your nose, into your throat, and up into your sinuses. So the MRI went well. Didn't get the results right away because they have to read them. Then I went on to get the scoping. That was a little rough because the young lady that did it, the young doctor, she scoped me, and she said that the spot on my larynx looked like a bite was taken out of it, and it was all scar tissue. So the cancer had healed up, which was great news. Still got a little raw spot there, but it's not cancer. Then when we got the MRI back, I can't read this stuff. I couldn't read the results of the scoping. But I took them to my doctor. The doctor looked at them and told me that I was cancer-free. So, according to the tests. So I was real excited about that, and that was about the best news you can get. Well, let me tell you how that appointment ended. After she got done scoping me, she asked me to go ahead and sign up for some chemo and some radiation treatments. And that kind of perplexed me because she already seen the healing. Mind you, had a little raw spot in there, but it wasn't nothing. Because she told me it wasn't cancer. So now she's telling me to go get radiation and chemo. I couldn't believe it. I said, well, if I'm healed up, why would I want to do that? She got upset. She got upset big time. And immediately my wife, slaps her head like that. Oh, great, we're going to get thrown out. Right? And you could tell the doctor was upset. And I kind of told her, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stick to what I'm doing. If I've got healing going on, I'm going to stick to that. And then she goes, well, what do you need me for? Real snappy. And I told her an evaluation. That's what I'm here for, is an evaluation. And you're getting paid. And I left it at that. And thank God she didn't throw us out. She left the room immediately after that remark. And we got our evaluation. Well, what I'm going to tell you now probably is going to surprise you. But looking back on my treatment, on my diagnosis, on my cancer, it has really changed my life. It's more like a blessing in disguise. Well, you're probably wondering, how can cancer be a blessing in disguise? If you give me a few minutes, I'll explain. Well, before my diagnosis, I got to tell you, my life was a mess. I mean, every day I worked so hard. I worked 7 days a week. I worked for 25 years without a vacation. There's a lot of workaholics out there that are watching this that understand what I'm saying. You get pretty beat up. My diet was horrible. I started every day out with a sweet roll and drank 1 to 2 pots of coffee a day, smoked 1 to 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Never got any rest. At night when I tried to sleep, my body was so sore from working that any movement, any sound would wake me up. and I couldn't go back to sleep. So it became quite the problem, especially trying to get enough rest to do it again for 10 hours the next day. But people needed me, so I had to be there. I needed them because I had bills to pay. So it was like a vicious circle that never ended. It got me so down. I started getting depressed, and I was just angry that I couldn't do better, or I didn't do things like college, stuff I should have done when I was younger. And it took its toll on me. Well, you're probably still asking yourself, what did I mean by my cancer being a blessing? Well, I'm going to explain that to you now. Cancer being a blessing because it woke me up. I didn't realize, how far out I was. It woke me up. And it made me realize you got to do change. The holistic approach is about as drastic a change as it gets. Mind, body, and soul. You got to equally get them right or it won't work. You got to make a commitment. And in the beginning it wasn't easy, but it got easier. And now, again, my benefits are I sleep well, I quit smoking, I gained my weight back, I love life more than you could ever imagine. It's even too hard to explain. To put it another way, what I've realized about cancer is that cancer is a symptom. There's two ways you can look at it. Whether you call it a cause or a reason. There's four of them. One of them's diet, the other one's environment, the third one's genetic, and the fourth one is really stress. Let's kind of go over that. We talked about diet and environment on the first two videos. So if you want to learn more about that, just go back to those videos. As far as our DNA or genetics go, we're finding out it's not so much genetics. It's more about the habits that we got from our fathers and mothers. My parents were smokers. Did they have the best eating habits? Not really. Just like them, I learned to grab breakfast on the run. So genetics, it might be more about what they taught you than their actual genealogy. And then stress, and we'll go more into stress. Yeah, let's talk about stress. It's the big one. I had a clinical psychologist in my treatment, and he brought out a lot of things that I stressed about and didn't realize. Your memories, your life, you have stress points that actually change the way you view things, and your realities change. Once you realize that, you learn how to deal with the stress. The stress of dying is the biggest one you can have. But yet, once you learn to deal with it in a professional way, in a healthy way, stress isn't as much of an issue as it was before you learned how to deal with it. Let's talk about that a little more. On Wednesdays, I go to group therapy. And in group therapy, all the campers are there. Most of the time we're all hooked up to bottles. What we learn in group therapy is how to help one another, how to reinforce what we're being taught, because everybody learns at a different pace. So we learn to deal with stress, we learn to deal with environment, we learn to deal with ourselves. And you get a big sense out of that. We love helping each other.